in Middle Tennessee on this Free for All Friday here on Bible News Radio. And do you think I'm going to come up with something, some sort of, what's the word I'm looking for? I don't even know. I was going to come up with some little saying to make it interesting, but that's all you get from me, folks. Bible News Radio starts right now.
So thou, O son of man, I have set thee a watchman unto the house of Israel. Therefore, thou shalt hear the word of my mouth, and warn them from me.
Have no fellowship with the unfruitful works of darkness, but rather expose them.
Coming to you from an undisclosed location in Middle Tennessee and examining current events from a biblical perspective, this is Bible News Radio with your hosts, Randall and Stacy Harp.
Wondering why I'm here and why anybody cares what I say. No, I'm not a better man, 'cause I'm singing the songs on the radio. 'Cause we're all the same
at the end of the day.
Now I imagine you on the other side of the radio.
Periscope, the radio, whatever.
Driving with your windows down on the freeway.
There he is, Mr. Handsome.
I see you tapping the wheel, I see you bobbing your head to the radio.
Free for All Friday, people.
Oh, and it makes my day.
This is Chris Rice.
To see that smile on your face, and in some small way.
Okay, here's the chorus. Ready?
I remember my place. 'Cause it's you and me singing the same song right now. Maybe this will bring us together somehow. And maybe there's a million people all singing along. Somebody started thinking about the third line, and maybe someone's saying a prayer for the first time. And that's enough reason to keep me singing my song. Singing my songs on the other side of the radio. Crank up the volume and sing at the top of your lungs with the radio.
Ooh, listen to the harmony Bareface did.
Tuning into some good news and laughing along with the DJ.
I'm kind of the DJ right now.
We're changing somebody's world from the other side of the radio. Oh, and it makes my day to see that smile on your face. And in some small way, I remember my place. 'Cause it's you and me singing the same song right now. Maybe this will bring us together somehow. And maybe there's a million people all singing along. Somebody started thinking about the third line, and maybe some saying a prayer for the first time. And that's enough reason to keep me singing my song. Singing my songs on the other side of the radio.
There we go, people.
It's you and me singing the same song right now. Maybe this will bring us together somehow. Maybe there's a million people all singing along. Somebody started thinking about the third line, and maybe someone saying a prayer for the first time. And that's enough reason to keep me singing my song. Keep me singing my songs on the other side of the radio. On the other side of the radio.
Alright, I love this ending part. This is just, it's just music. Anyway, so hello everybody. I want to thank you all for joining us today. It's Friday, Free For All Friday. All right, so that's Chris Rice, like Chris Rice Krispies, or yeah, that was supposed to be funny. Anyway, hey Jennifer, and that was his song from a long time ago called "The Other Side of the Radio." You know, I love this song. Hey Liz and Denise and Melanie, Jeffrey. Who else is in there that I can't see? A whole bunch of other people I don't know. Hello, people. All right, so today's Free For All Friday, which means that we can do whatever we want on the show. We actually don't have a guest. And I have to say that what I have planned is only minimal, but I have to say that you're going to really super enjoy this. We're going to play you the interview I did with Carl Teichrib from Forcing Change. Carl actually is in Canada. Don't hold that against him. Hi, Lula. Hi, Lula. And Cheryl. Hey, Kim. Hey, Kim. Thanks for coming in. Yeah, so we're going to play this. It's about a 15-minute interview with Carl Teichrib. And I have to set it up because when we were at the Prophecy Conference, Randall and I, first of all, we drove like almost 700 miles to get there. And if you know me, hey, Pastor Pete, if you know me, one of the things that I don't like doing is long car rides. Ugh. Seriously, I hate them. I consider a long car ride anything over an hour. True story. And we drove, what, like 12 hours in one day? Something like that.
Something like that.
Yes, because I have anxiety issues and everything. But I got to give God the glory for a couple of things. First of all, I want to give God the glory for the fact that I did that twice in less than a week, just so you know. And here's the other thing. I have always struggled with anxiety, bathroom issues, stuff like that, because growing up, I had a lot of girl issues, which is why ultimately it led to hysterectomy and blah, blah. Anyway, I know a lot of people who are older and, you know, my age and older. Hi, Annie. Struggle with, like, where's the bathroom at? I need to know where there's going to be a bathroom. And when you travel, certain things happen digestively to you. Is that not correct? It is. Hey, Aaron, nice to see you. And I have to tell you, so for the first time ever in the history of my life, and this is a true story, and I know that unless you actually understand this experientially, you cannot know the victory that it really was. But I declare openly and proudly and humbly, not proudly like in the sense of like, oh, I'm so great, because I'm not. And anybody that really knows me, like my husband, a couple of you people, know that I suck. I mean, really, I'm not the best person in the world, but I have to tell you, so my anxiety, you know, usually when I travel, I take diarrhea medicine. Let's just say it out loud, right? Okay, let's real talk here. How many of you do that too, right? When you travel, you take Pepto or whatever, right? Because it helps calm your stomach and soothes, you know, this typical issue that many people have, right? But I have to tell you that this time, I didn't. I bought it. True story. No comment, right, Jeff? You know, true story. So here's the thing. So I bought it. I had it. Psychologically warfare, I had it. But I didn't even open the box. And that for me is a huge deal because, I mean, we're coming from fear of long car trips because of that issue. True story. And I did it both ways, right? I mean, so what's that have to do with Carl? Nothing, actually. Actually, what it has to do with is the fact that by the time that trip was over getting there, when we arrived at the Prophecy Conference, Randall and I, the first thing we did was found the Gilberts, right? And then we're like, hey, there's Sharon and Derek. We've known you only 12 years online, and we finally get to meet you. And then I ran into Bill Salas, and then later, Randall and me were really hungry, because if you're like me, because of that specific issue, you don't eat a whole lot. But we decided we were going to go to Chili's, because I don't know if there's even a Chili's very close to here where I live, but anyway, so me and Randall, we walked down the street. This is in Oklahoma, by the way. So we walked down the street, and when we walk into Chili's, I see Michael Lake, who I'm going to get on the show. You guys got to hear this guy and his wife. Amazing testimony. I see Michael Lake. He doesn't know me, but I know who he is. So I was like, oh, hey, Randall, there's Michael Lake. I can go walk up to him. And so I start following him because I didn't know if in Chili's we could like sit down or not. So Mike's here and I'm walking up, and then Mike keeps walking. Is this high enough? He keeps walking, and so I'm following him, and then he turns left, and then I go this, and then Mike stops and he says something to these people, and I'm standing right there. And next thing you know, Carl Teichrib, I go, oh my gosh, that's Carl Teichrib. And he's sitting there, and he slowly turns around and he notices me standing there. And the look on his face was the complete classic look of somebody who was like, I can't believe it's you. It was so great. It was so cool. Just saying, people. He jumped up out of his seat and gave me the biggest hug ever. And then Randall. And then we ended up talking for like 20 minutes. And by this time, it's like almost 10 o'clock, close to 10. And at night, right? So then him and his wife and this other couple, they get up to leave. Me and Randall go sit down at a booth. We finally got seated. And as we get our menus, Carl comes over, hands me and Randall $40 and says, here's dinner on us. Isn't that nice? So that was actually the reward for like driving 700 miles and all that. And then we had the best waffles and chicken. I've lived here in Tennessee for almost 5 years. Never had waffles and chicken. I go to Oklahoma.
You can tell because she would say chicken and waffles if she was a connoisseur, but she says waffles and chicken.
Well, yeah, anyway, so oh my gosh, if you guys have never had Chili's waffles and chicken and waffles. Okay, I guess chicken goes first, right? Okay, whatever.
Yeah, it's alphabetical.
If you've never had chicken and waffles, oh my gosh.
Well,
from Chili's,
the waffles are more like a pastry.
Oh my gosh, their waffles are to die for. And look, I limit my sugar intake as much as possible, but eating those waffles, oh my gosh, they were so good. I thought I was gonna die. They were so good. I was like, ah. Anyway. What's that have to do with anything? Well, that was our initial meeting with Carl.
Free for all Friday. It doesn't have to have anything to do with anything else.
Anyway, so let me tell you a little bit more about Carl, though. He is an amazing researcher. He goes into all of these conferences, like witchcraft conferences and Paganistan. Paganicon.
There you go, Paganicon.
Yeah, whatever. These conferences, he goes into transhumanist conferences.
The Minnesota especially.
Transhumanist. He goes into atheist conferences, satanic conferences. He goes all over the place. And
Burning Man,
which is a completely crazy
and
stuff.
Set up a tent there to the unknown god.
Yeah. I mean, this man is insane. Insanely awesome. Just saying. And his wife, Leanne, oh my gosh, his wife, Leanne, is probably one of the sweetest people on the planet. I mean, I get told
Isn't
that.
she a gem?
I mean, people tell me I'm sweet and lovable all the time. And it's true for the most part.
Burning Man, what?
Don't just ask some people. Not all people believe that, but it's primarily true. But Leanne is also, they were just the sweet. They were really, honestly, the highlight to me of the conference was these people. Okay.
And didn't I tell you before we left?
Yes, you did.
No.
And it was very cool. So what Carl does, though, is he goes into these conferences, and then what he does is he takes the original source material from these conferences, he writes up these big things from a Christian worldview, and then he publishes it. So he's absolutely brilliant, and he is absolutely hilarious. If you've ever been around me in person and you know how fun I can be. I know it's hard to believe, right?
She has her moments.
Carl is like me. We have like the same personality, which is almost scary. I've never met another person with my type of personality. Although I would have to say Mia, the paramedic, is slightly close because Mia is hilarious. If you've never met Mia, Mia, raise your hand. Anyway, so I want to start our show off by showing you this interview with Carl. This is about 15 minutes long. Definitely worth it. And I hope you guys love it. Okay. So, and of course I want to say hi to everybody. Liz is there, and Bareface and Melanie, Denise, Lula. Yeah. Hi. Mia, Jennifer, Jeff. I don't know how to say your name. Is it Anise? And there's some other people, all you anonymous people out there. Thank you for tuning in, and thank you guys for sharing it out. Oh, and thank you all for the hearts and all that other stuff. Okay. All right. Ready? This is going to be good. You're going to totally love this. And by the way, I'm wearing the same blouse today that I got for my birthday from my friend, and I'm wearing it in this video. And Carl, this is the weird thing. This outfit that Carl is wearing was actually a purple shirt. It was actually purple, and my shirt is actually maroon. But it looks similar on camera, but they aren't actually the same color.
Yeah, and speaking of that, I was not the iPhone operator, so
no.
This was shot in portrait mode.
Yes, this was by his wife, Leanne. And by the way, just so you guys know, Tuggy Bear is now home. If you guys care about our little dog Tug Bear, he is in the other room. Did he stop crying?
Yes.
He's
for
not,
now.
He's not crying right now, but he doesn't like time by himself. But he is doing better. I don't. Bareface has a better update than I do.
I could slide him in here.
Good. Do you think? Okay. Well, you could after you.
I think I'll do that after I start this video.
Want to pick up the crate, show everybody?
Well, maybe after, I'll start this and then I'll go.
This is how much water I've drank today, people, just so you can see. This is 48 ounces. I'm almost done. I've had...
It's Friday.
I've had that.
All right, so So this was shot in portrait mode, and of course we're broadcasting in landscape. So
it should be okay.
So I'm doing what I can to So deal with it.
Okay.
All right.
He says that in love and without snarky attitude.
True. So much in love. All right. Yeah, well, could I do that, or should I? I don't know. Yeah, I'll do that, and I'm gonna crop it even more so it's not as distracting. Anyway, here we go.
Okay, here you go. That's why I said, hey, everybody. I can't see you. But anyway, want to welcome you to another episode, impromptu interview here from the Norman, Oklahoma Prophecy Conference. And today I get to tell you who this dude is. This is Carl Teichrib. This guy is like me, except he's not me. He is the epitome of, you like my personality? He's got it.
Well, when you said impromptu, I thought, oh, we could go over the place with that.
We could.
Yeah.
Yeah, but okay, so here's the thing. Carl Teichrib, founder of forcingchange.org.
Yeah, the website's not up right now, but it will be again. Yeah.
Okay, so tell everybody what you do, because what you do, well, not everything. Don't say everything you do. But you're from Canada.
That's right. We're from Manitoba.
Okay.
And troublemaker. That's it. So what we do is we go to events like Burning Man, pagan conferences, United Nations events, interfaith events. Mm-hmm. Next year, hopefully, we'll be at the 2018 Parliament of the World's Religions. And it's boots on the ground research so that we can take and understand those contexts, bring it to the Christian community, and without sensationalism, because there's so much of that.
Right.
I mean, so much clickbait stuff on the web. Just tell it like it is.
Right. Well,
and that's our job. So
you're a scholar. I mean, you're like Canada's David Barton. I guess, right?
Yeah, we take our scholarship, we take our research seriously.
Okay, so what's your background? Do you have a doctorate?
No.
Master's?
No.
You just graduated from kindergarten, college?
Almost.
Really?
I found that school interfered with my education. So in grade 11, I left.
Did you really?
Yeah, I did. I'm a high school dropout.
Are you
No,
seriously?
I'm not a dropout. Pardon me. I quit.
You quit?
There's a difference.
I did not know that.
Quit. Yes.
Wow.
I have 2 years in a small Bible college. I have an associate degree. I mean, whip-de-doo.
Okay.
But really, I took the approach of, when I started doing this kind of research, and my mom and dad were very much about trying to understand things. You have to go and try to figure it out and obviously as Christians use a biblical approach.
Right.
But the bottom line was, when I started doing this kind of research in the early 1990s, I thought, how am I going to find out some of the questions, the answers I was seeking? And the only way I could figure that out was to actually go to the sources. And back then, I was trying to understand Freemasonry, and there's reasons for it.
Sure.
I didn't join the lodge, by the way, but yeah, I know. But
My brother tried to join. I told him, no, don't do it.
Don't do it. I spent a lot of time just trying to get their source material. I didn't even know there was Christian material on the subject. And so I took the approach of, if I want to understand something, go and get it, figure it out, get it firsthand. And that's my scholarship, going getting it firsthand and then analyzing it.
Well, see, and that's so cool, because that's what I did with the Gay Agenda. I went to the GLSEN conference, the Gay Lesbian Straight Education Network. I went directly into the pit of hell. Not directly, but you know what I mean. I went into the conference, and I've gone into a number of conferences. You know, people always say, oh, Christians are poor, uneducated, and easy to command. I'm kind of poor, but I'm not uneducated. And the thing is, the best way to get educated is by looking at opposite views of your own.
Absolutely.
Right? Don't be afraid of it. I'm not. Everybody's like, well, why don't you have an atheist on your show? And I'm like, I don't need an atheist on my show. But if you want to come on my show and be an atheist, I'm okay. You'll look like a fool, but, you know, I mean, I don't care.
But you're right. A lot of people have that impression that Christians are ignorant. I'm sorry. We're not. I know very intelligent people. Yourself, my wife, many, many people. Very, very intelligent people.
By the way, the special camera lady today is Carl's wife. Yeah. Chico. You're hilarious.
But it's true. There's this perception, and it's a misperception.
She's like Randall.
Well,
in a way.
Shorter.
Yes.
From my
How long have you guys
perspective.
been married?
Oh, golly, that's a great question. Since '89. What's the math?
So 28 years?
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, we just celebrated 25.
Cool.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
Yeah. Okay, so I was just at your presentation,
Yes.
which was awesome.
Thank you.
It was. And I'm not just saying that kiss up or anything, and I would never do that, as you know.
Not because we have matching purple or anything.
I know. Is that weird or what? I actually thought that, too, when I was in there watching you. I was like, we wore the same thing. I have to interview him today, just because. Except you need to show some skin.
Oh, yeah.
Don't do it. Anyway. Okay, also I gotta tell you, this is so funny. Carl, the first night that we were here after we met Derek and Sharon, this was hilarious actually, because Michael Lake, who I interviewed earlier today, we went into Chili's. Me and Randall were in there. I'm like, Randall, that's Michael Lake. We gotta follow him. So I went over, I followed him, and Michael stopped at Carl's table. And then you were sitting there, you turned around, I just stood there, I didn't say anything.
Right.
And the look on your face, I wish I had it like forever, because it was awesome. What was your first thought when you actually saw me?
Wow.
You were like,
yes.
Here we are.
Yes.
Yeah, and then we ended up talking for a long time.
Yeah, it was good.
And then you paid for our dinner.
That's awesome.
Or somebody else did.
No, that's cool.
It was you.
Yeah,
Somebody
it's all
did.
good. You had a good dinner. That's good.
It was awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, you bet.
He fed me.
But she also came to my talk too.
Yeah.
So there we go.
So what's the name of your new book that's coming out?
Game of Gods.
Okay, explain
That's the main title.
Okay.
It's based on, well, first of all, it comes out of Genesis chapter 3, where the premise is we will become as gods through special knowledge, and we will therefore have the knowledge of good and evil, and we can become like God in that knowledge. That's really the underlying principle of it.
You hear the applause? They're applauding you.
Oh, thank you. And the subtitle is The Temple of Man in the Age of Reenchantment. And what I take a look at is how two worldviews, two paradigms oppose each other. One says that man, nature, and God essentially are all the same. Mm-hmm. The other one says, no, God is separate, distinct, utterly unique from nature. We have no comparison point. In fact, this God has to reveal himself.
Well, and that's what he said this morning in his talk, and it was totally awesome.
Well, but it's true. If God is outside of nature, time, space, if he is different, distinct from the created order, we have no models to work with.
Right.
We can't even imagine what that would be like. We can think we can imagine. I've had some of my atheist friends say, well, this is just a God that you Christians imagine. No, you don't get the nature of this God then. period.
Yeah.
Because this is not a God that you can compare anything with. You can't imagine that.
Yeah. You also talked about paganism this morning.
Yes.
And would you call it Paganistan or something? What was it you called America? It was Eastern Canada. Just remember that, okay?
This spring, I was at a pagan conference called Paganicon.
Paganicon. Say that fast. Paganicon.
Yes.
Okay.
And it was in Minneapolis, and it was a group of 600 or so Wiccans, Druids, heathens. And I was there to try to learn. I mean,
you kind of have the look.
Well, it's the goatee.
I know.
I know. Yeah, and the purple.
You fit in well, actually.
You know,
I have the hair.
There we go. Yes. And the reason it was called Paganicon is because the Wiccan community in the Minneapolis-St. Paul area, which is very, very large.
I was shocked when you said what you said.
Yes, they refer to their part of the world affectionately as Paganistan. Like Afghanistan, Pakistan, so this is the pagan homeland. And I went to workshops on developing the pagan homeland. And so that was the element I brought into the talk.
Right.
But really, that's big P paganism, where the pagan worldview is made into a form of religion. Really, though, the broader point is oneness, this idea of man, nature, and God all being one, is paganism in a small p sense. People just adopt it without even thinking about it.
Yeah, well, and you know what's interesting, too, you talk about Wicca. I actually am seeing more reports, at least here in our American media, about the promotion of Wicca as, oh, it's a great religion and everything.
Yeah,
the news media is packaging this as like it's normal and everybody does it. And you were talking about this. The other thing that you said in your thing that really hit me was you were talking about how you surveyed bookcases or
yes.
And by the way, yes, we do have those type of book exchanges here, at least in California. I don't know if they do it in Tennessee, but tell everybody about that because I thought that is so brilliant. I'm going to go to my library and I'm going to see.
Yes.
Because that is very interesting what you said.
Basically, it's trying to get a handle of what the community is reading.
Right.
And by doing so, then you understand that worldview, where they're coming from. And I use Half Price Books. It's my favorite Midwest chain of booksellers.
Half Price.
Right. And I think they're actually all over different parts of the U.S. But it's a place where you come as a community, you drop off your boxes of unused books, or pardon me, unwanted books. You get credit for it. They put it on the shelves. We sell it.
Right.
So actually a really cool business model. But what's really neat is for somebody doing social research, if you want to understand what the community is reading, what they're interested in, you go to Half Price Books or any other place that resells
their stuff.
Right.
Yeah,
Absolutely. Now all of a sudden you're reading, looking at the shelves, you're going, in a case which holds 7 shelves, we only have 1 shelf for atheism, only 2 shelves for Islam, 3 shelves for Judaism, a case and a half for Eastern mysticism, 2 or 3 cases on occultism, or 4 cases on metaphysics, 5 cases or 6 cases on Christianity. And as you're going through it, you're realizing that, well, that's garbage, and that needs to be put in the metaphysical section, or the self-help, or the gardening section, or something else.
The gardening section. This is garbage. This is compost. No, it's
a cool way of trying to get a handle of what your community is, where they're at.
Yeah, I think it's great. And actually, what I do is because I do the research too, but not like you. I do it different. But I get all the CBA listings of the top Christian books and stuff, and half of the crap that's out there is just that. It's new age, fluffy stuff. When you were talking, was it Brian McLaren you were using as an oh my gosh. You know what? I mean, there's a lot of this emergent stuff, but when you shared that, and we can't share it, you guys. You just have to get the DVD or something. But the thing is we will talk about it on my show in more depth. Problem is, I look at this stuff, and I remember when I was in California, there was a Christian bookstore that only sold biblical material. You know how big that store was? Not big. Right. It was like this. Right. And then you have Family Christian or Lifeway or whatever it was. Maybe it wasn't Lifeway. Lifeway's pretty good. But some other ones, there, and I won't name names right now, but nothing but crap. And I'm like, oh my gosh. I'm like, and it's no wonder Christians don't know the Bible.
I know.
Because they're getting all this garbage. Drives me crazy.
But the scary thing is we're selling to market.
I know. Well, You know? Okay, so then my question for you is, how do you keep yourself protected spiritually? Because here you go, here you are, the lone Christian in this thing of Wiccans. Don't you get scared going in there? Like,
No, why should I be?
Okay,
Why shouldn't I be?
okay,
I mean, if our God really is
Right.
who he is,
Right.
and I believe he is,
I believe you do,
and we're his children,
right?
eventually the deities that the pagan community bows to,
Which you talked about how they were saying a chant to go to hell.
it was really interesting. Really, really interesting. Eventually
yeah.
those deities and they themselves will bend their knee to our Lord too.
Right.
But they'll be doing it in fear, which really that's a scary part.
Yeah.
Whereas we do it in love.
Right, good point.
Why should we be afraid?
Yeah.
Really.
I know, plus look at how tall you are and stuff. I mean, this guy has a wingspan of a mile.
It's true. It's true.
Like, okay,
Yeah.
wait, just for fun, you
Yes.
stand behind me with your arms, okay? This is funny. See how long
Oh,
they
I
are?
can't even get.
I mean, is this hilarious? Okay, just saying, people. How do I know you're not a Nephilim? That was funny.
Oh yeah.
Wait, can I cut your ear?
Oh, what would that do?
Have you ever seen The Visitors?
Yes,
Yeah, they
yes,
cut
yes.
you your lizard inside.
Hey, when my daughter, when she tried to cut my hair the first time when she was quite young, I
She
told her,
didn't.
don't cut my ear. She didn't. She stabbed me in the neck with a scissors. So,
Ouch.
yeah, it was.
Is that a true story? Are we getting any comments in there? You want to read any of them, or?
Oh, I could have.
Uh,
That's okay. They really like how you two match.
Ah.
That seems to be a big plus.
all right. Well, he's going to be speaking again today and then tomorrow.
Yeah, I think in 15 minutes.
Yeah, it is.
Oh, somebody
1:23.
said you got
Oh, I have
stabbed
to
in
go.
the back.
Yeah, so he's got to go.
gotta
So, hey, Carl Teichrib, you're my favorite.
Hey, thank you.
And his wife is my favorite, too.
She's my favorite as well.
Yeah. Anyway, so we will be back later. I think we're going to still try to get a couple interviews, guys, but we're trying to actually enjoy the conference too. So just remember, be bold, stand up, and go with God because He loves you. So there you have it. What'd you think, Randall? This was your first time actually seeing it.
Yeah, I was noticing both in the recorded chat as well as our live chat tonight that there are a few fans of half-price books out there. Melanie is one, Jeffrey is another. I'm not familiar with half-price books, so I know half.com originally that was what it was about. Books, used books and reselling those. And Polish Richard has joined us, and
That's not what it said.
and
He's a never.
Plastic Ball 4, something like that.
Yeah. That was really good. You guys are going to actually see, some other really good interviews that we did. But Carl is definitely a man to get to know. And
Indeed.
and I'm really actually hoping, and we talked a little bit about him and me doing a show together.
Really?
Did I tell you that?
No, you did not.
Oh no, I think that him and I could do a weekly show or every other week or whatever, talking about the issues that he brings to light. You could produce it, like
course
you
I
do,
could.
like you do this, and
Randall produce it.
And all
He'll
that.
produce anything.
yeah. Well, I do. I mean, I think that Carl has a great personality, but he is very, very in tune with things, and he spoke I think 3 times at the prophecy conference, and his
Melanie says she could tour half-price books this weekend and scope it.
that would be good.
Yeah, it would be interesting.
Sorry.
Are we
Anyway,
keeping you awake?
I actually have a little bit of a headache. But anyway, so there's
Need some of this.
yeah. Actually, no. This is way better for you. A ton of water. Look at that water. I've drank all this water today. Half of it I drank at pickleball. Just saying,
This
people.
is mostly water.
Yeah, with sugar in it.
No sugar.
Ugh, caffeine.
Yeah, caffeine, but
So what'd you guys think? Did you like the interview with Carl? Did he seem fun to you? Because he really is, and he's amazing. I mean, in terms of his research and the different things that he did. He did a talk called "Is God Green?" Exposing all the environmentalist stuff.
Well, environmentalism as a religion. Nothing wrong with being, ecologically conscious and being good stewards of the earth.
So Liz drinks almost a gallon of water every day. I actually do too. This is getting close. I mean, this is 48 ounces here. This is, it's not quite. It's getting close. Yeah,
well, it's 3 pints.
Yeah, he's a good guy for sure.
So
definitely a good guy.
A little more than half a gallon.
So what else stood out to you about the interview?
Is there water shortage in Tennessee yet? No, not yet. No,
but you know what we have a shortage of in this house right now? Toilet paper.
Yeah. Just weren't keeping an eye on the supply.
We got like this much left, and that's about it. I was like, okay, we can ration it until tomorrow, and then run to the store. Or
Walmart's open 24 hours.
Yeah,
so maybe after the program. What's another thing that stood out to me that I already knew, but I know more now, just how unpretentious Carl is. Now,
yeah.
I mean, not that most people are pretentious, but I mean, there's no shadow of pretentiousness in him. When you're talking about his education, I'm a high school quitter, not a high school dropout, but and I was gonna say I admire him.
I thought I did follow you on there.
I'll
look. I'll go look right now. Make sure I did. I thought I did.
I sincerely considered dropping out in 11th grade or quitting high school, 11th grade. But
I actually did follow you, family number 9, just so you know. Wendy. Yeah, Wendy. And it shows pending. So apparently you have to approve me. Unless it's some other name. Okay. All right. So. Yeah, I was actually surprised at his education level.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I have a master's degree, and I'm not that smart, just so you know. Just ask anybody that really knows me. That's actually not true, but yeah. So speaking of some of the stuff you talked about, I wanted to bring up this article I found here. Listen to this. This is actually on a website called thestranger.com. And it's titled Witches, Magic, and the Occult Come to Pioneer Square. This was published 2 days ago, October 25th. It says here, right now the walls of Mort Lake and Company are covered with images of witches. Nude figures kneel by cauldrons, wielding skulls and branches. Whiplash lines spiral through enchanted landscapes, suggesting invisible energy fields that may be manipulated with a bit of practice. A large dramatic charcoal drawing by Maria Dolorosa depicts a winged figure with a clawed foot, a pointed tongue, pendulous breasts, and a vagina lined with monstrous teeth. A smaller ink drawing by Johnny Decker Miller shows a bearded Christ-like character who appears to be getting visions piped directly into his head from a winged celestial disc. His feet float above a dark pit filled with bones and keys reminiscent of Byzantine illustrations of the harrowing of hell. This is Witch Icon, and this is Witch, WITCH-IKON, and it's linked here. An exhibition of witchcraft imagery curated by Three Hands Press, a prominent publisher of contemporary occultism and metaphysica. A book release party for a related publication, Witch Icon, Witchcraft in Art and Artifact, will be held here on October 28th. That's tomorrow, just in time for All Hallows Eve. Then the show will come down, and an exhibition of work by Joseph Ucello, an artist and book designer who conjures aesthetically detailed ink and brushworks will open on November 2nd. Anyway, I just shared this, and it says here, it goes on here to say, this guy here, he's the founder of the Esoteric Book Conference, a convergence of fellow booksellers and scholars who are fascinated by things like magic and the occult. I was interested in mythology and comparative religion as a teenager, says this guy, I can't say his name, a lifelong Seattle resident who grew up collecting sci-fi paperbacks and quizzing his Catholic mother on the nature of God. I started going to the Theosophical Society on Capitol Hill at age 16, and they would give me tea. Inspired by their impressive library, Kiesel began buying and selling titles that interested him, keeping a running line of trade credit at most of the city's used bookstores. Eventually, this obsession led him to study Renaissance bookmaking traditions and start crafting books of his own. For this guy, there is a natural kinship between book arts and spiritual subjects he favors. The alchemists thought that nature was the best teacher, and I concur, he says. Paracelsus refers to the Codex Natural, or Nature's Book, being a book person. I like this kind of mystical allegory. Anyway, then he says here at the end, in witchcraft, the idea of imagery is super important, said Kiesel. In our digital culture, imagery is really important in framing how people think about things. If you can't capture attention right now, you've missed your opportunity. Imagery is everything. What I find interesting about that is that here, and I will tweet this article out so you guys can read it, but it takes you to another page here titled Witchicon, Witchcraft and Art and Artifact Book Release. It's like this celebration of witchcraft. And then if you go over to themountainmail.com, it says here, witches prepare for annual dance. It says here, witches will dance again this year on Halloween night in Alpine Park. Fly by Night, a group of 14 witches under the direction of Sherry somebody, performed their first dance in Alpine Park last Halloween and were encouraged to do it again this year. It's so much fun, we plan to make it an annual event. Dances begin at about 6 p.m. with 3 dances per set based on traditional dances performed by witches in Germany. On Walpurgis night, which is April 30th. We do 3 sets of dances, take a break, then we do it over again until it either gets too dark or people stop coming. We also have candy for the kids, of course. And then it talks about rehearsals for dancing with Fly By Night. So, I mean, I look at this and I think it's interesting to me that this stuff is all around us, but it's like most people, especially Christians, don't even look at it. It's very, very interesting phenomena. So I don't know what you think, Bareface.
Well, I was checking out the website, the Seattle website, thestranger.com, which is advertising Dan Savage's film festival.
Okay,
and other,
if you don't know who Dan Savage is, he's a leading homosexual activist.
And
who's very, very, very vile.
And reporting on things, all sorts of what I would call immoral things, and so this is right in line with the other things that they report on. And I was looking at the event site itself, which is Ave Boulogne and La Femme Satanique, a presentation of 19th century magicians of Paris with Madeleine La Dispensaire. Anyway, I'm not gonna show the website because there are some disturbing images on it, and I'd rather not put them up. Anyway, but it says, join us for a night on the life and work of the notorious heretical priest and accused Satanist Abbé Joseph Antoine Boulogne. 1824 to 1893, who came to be known as a boogeyman of the 19th century Paris magicians, who misrepresented his occult Catholicism. In his lifetime, Boulan went from a rising star within the Church of Rome to a defrocked priest, running his own ministry of mystical Catholicism, in which women were consecrated bishops and preparations were made for a new age of Luciferian feminine power. He was hugely famed in his day and served as an inspiration for artists and occultists as varied as J.K. Huysmans, I don't know how to pronounce that, Michael Berthiaud, and Maria de Naglowska. I'm probably butchering those names, but tonight we look at...
Welcome to my world of butchering names.
Yeah, tonight we look at the life, work, and impact of this most fascinating figure and his spiritual partner, the mysterious Julie.
Okay, wait. Whose eyebrows do you want to lick? Do you want to lick Randall's eyebrows or do you want to lick mine? It depends on who you're asking.
My bushy eyebrows.
Well,
Zach Taylor.
Wait, I want to see whose they are, who he wants, whose eyebrows he wants to lick, because then we'll give you an answer in accordance to whose question he was actually answering.
Hey, Liz has joined us.
Yes, lots of
Again.
people. Okay, go on.
Anyway, I'm just curious whose eyebrows were enticing enough to lick. But anyway, this kind of stuff, certainly it's gone on for centuries. But, the reason it's called the occult, from the Latin, no, like an eyebrows. The reason it's called occult, it goes to its, I believe it's Latin, it's hidden and obscured, it's darkened. And this stuff used to be in the shadows. And now, as they say, this stuff comes to Pioneer Square. Mm-hmm. Not the dark alley of, the underbelly of Seattle, but Pioneer Square. And this stuff is just bold and blatant. It's no longer occult in the sense of being secretive and hidden. Especially things coming out, even in government, things like that. So, yeah. So what stands out to me is, there's nothing new under the sun. Scripture reports on, these kinds of activities, witchcraft and was it L.A. talking about how demons, are fascinated with the feminine form, and just what I was just reading there, and some of the images on the event website, get into, what's the word I'm looking for?
Spit it out, Bareface.
Yeah, like succubus, incubus. I don't want to get into that anyway, but those are depicted on the website. And it's just, I'm not surprised. At the same time, I'm disappointed that, things like this have become pretty much mainstream, or at least no longer in the shadows. And I guess there's the boldness that tells me that society is ripe for, tolerance. Of tolerance of this diversity. Hey, if you want to worship, blood rituals and human sacrifice and intimate relationships with demons, that's great. Power to you. We'll recognize that as legitimate, and hey, if that's your thing, if it makes you happy, that's great. And anyway, it seems like that's where we are.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Okay, how much time? Okay, we should probably take our break.
That's a good idea.
Well, the first thing I want to say is, have you joined my Unstuck Club yet? Because if you haven't, you should. It's free. And it's one of my favorite things that I do. So go to bit.ly well, go to my Twitter account on Twitter. It's pinned there. This is designed, it's weekly inspiration to move you forward. It's free, just sign up. It's bit.ly/Unstuck Club. You can go in there and you can listen to me help you move forward. I hope you check it out. And while you're at it, I also hope you check out my other course, Stop Lying to Yourself. Your secrets aren't secret, people. Your secrets are not secret. All right. And I have to tell you, oh, good. You just caught up. Cool. In that course, your secrets are, your Stop Lying to Yourself. Your secrets are not secret. What you're missing because of your secrets. One of the things in here, this is really a look at the fact that, look, you have secrets. You do, just so you know. They're not a secret and they impact other people. And we look at Psalm 51, David. You can actually watch the promo video. It gives you a better idea of what it's about. But did you know that King David, the man after God's own heart, do you know that his child died because of his sin? Child had nothing to do with it. He impregnated Bathsheba, and the baby died. Your sin finds you out eventually. And trust me, the devil hates it when you repent. He does. He hates it when you confess your sins. He hates it when you can admit you're wrong before others and God. He hates humility and all that. And, so if you want a good course, this is a 2-hour-long course. There's handouts on everything, and it's $29. That's all. And there's a 30-day money-back guarantee if you can watch the whole thing, and then you can go, oh, yeah. But I haven't had anybody do that. In fact, I've had a lot of people just say it's one of the best things we've produced. So if you haven't watched it, you can, and it's evergreen, which means you can take however long you want to watch it. So I want you to know that. The other thing I want to let you know is that I'm going to be starting a Bible study. And it's going to be probably, I'm thinking the beginning of the year. And this is going to be, somebody just screenshotted you, watch for duplicate accounts. Oh, yeah. It was probably Melanie. She screenshots me all the time. Melanie could make a fake account of me. Besides, I already have one person who put up account about me. But anyway, whatever. It's called the Anti-Stacy Harp account. You should go there, Randall, and show it to everybody. But anyway, what was I going to say? Oh, yeah. So this is the thing for new believers. I've had quite a few people say, "Hey, would you teach me? I'm a new believer. Would you help me learn to study the Bible?" If you are somebody who needs that and you're interested in that, I want you to tweet me and get in touch with me, because I'm only going to accept maybe 6 to 8 people in a specific group that I'm going to do for that, because that's all I think that's a good group size. It will be a group. And then the other thing is, if you are interested in a Bible study and being part of a Bible study, I also believe I'm going to do a Bible study in 1 John, and this might actually be the same thing. It might actually be the believers' Bible, the new believers' Bible study in the book of 1 John. That we'll go through it together. I'll teach you and show you some stuff, and that will be another offshoot, but that will be a paid thing. I just need to know how many people would be interested in doing that. Because part of what my heart is I'm not out to get rich by any stretch, trust me. In this work, that ain't happening. But we do need to make some money, and so that would be a paid thing. And we would limit it probably to 6 or 8 weeks to start, and then maybe continue later. Keep continuing it later on. So if that's something you're interested in, especially those of you who are even listening to the archive of this, tweet me, let me know so I can put you on a list. So we can get, that taken care of and start getting the groups together that we need. And men and women are welcome. It doesn't have to be all women, although I know there's a lot of women, but, I know there's some men out there too who might be interested in that. And then the other thing is, and we're definitely going to be launching this more. It will be more of a outreach in the new year is coaching, biblical coaching, help from a biblical perspective on those issues and those things that ail you. I will be launching that arm of Bible News Radio as well. So if you're somebody who's interested in that, short-term, forward-thinking biblical coaching, check that out. Let me know, and I'll be happy to work with you. I'm already working with a couple of people, but this is going to be something else, because for the most part, Bible News Radio, we're not self-supporting. These, generally live streamers don't live on what they make on live streaming, but I am thankful for our pillars of the community. And if you don't need any of the other services we offer, you can become a pillar if you like us. And that's basically, we ask you to donate $25 a month or more to us, and then we put you in our Pillars of the Community Facebook group, and you can do that. That just helps us, pay some bills and all that. So you can set up an automatic payment at PayPal, or some people actually do checks. I actually have a couple of people who send an automatic check payment, but go to BibleNewsRadio.com/give, and we're very, very thankful for that. And of course, Ariel Ministries is our sponsor, and if you want to support us even more, then support Ariel Ministries. They are our sponsor, and you can go to ariel.org and save 20% when you use the coupon code Bible News. If you guys saw the interview I did with Model Balston, the Messianic Jewish rabbi, the other day, there's stuff of his over there you can get, and there is the highlights of the life of Messiah, the abridged version. Is that right? Yeah, of the new book, which I should bring it up here, but I think you have a graphic of it. There's that, and the Harmony of the Gospels, which would make a great Hanukkah or Christmas gift for anybody, even yourself. And on the site, it's 15% off, but you can use Bible News and save 20%. And that comes up to, let's see here, I can give you an idea of how much that is if it's something you're interested in. I wrote it down. I'm waiting for my notepad to open up here. How much does that come up to? Yeah, it comes up to, if you just get the book Yeshua, 20% off, it's $31.20. If you get the Harmony with it, then, and you combine both of those, it's, actually, the Harmony is $20. Well, the Harmony minus 15% would bring it to something, but if you got the Yeshua book and Harmony, that's $47.20, not including shipping. Is that Grover?
Yeah.
Okay. And then this is here. If you're interested in learning Jewish history, Model Balston, if you love this guy had 10 million views on Facebook. I had no idea. Anyway, this is his DVD set. There's 8 DVDs in this, and there's 1 bonus CD with PowerPoint slides. Open it up here. You can see the thing, typical stuff. But this is all about Jewish history. If you want to learn Jewish history and understand the Bible better, then this is excellent to go. And he's got an easy voice to hear and understand. And if you missed the interview with him, you should go back and watch it. It was really super good. Is that it? I think that's it for our announcements, I think. Oh, unless, Bareface, you want to say something.
About what?
About Chapel Hill Media.
I could, but not at this point, really.
Okay.
Because, still kind of, even though things are going well in terms of live stream production, as you can tell with this program, that's going okay. Still working a few things out that I want to improve to get to, just, what's the word I'm looking for? I don't know, just first class. And so. Yes. And I want to thank you guys.
I know I don't thank you enough. I feel like I don't. Maybe I do. Maybe I thank you more than, I don't know. But yeah, thank you for tuning in. We've been on Periscope a couple years. And, I need to publicly say, and I know she's not going to hear it, but I'm going to say it anyway. I want to thank Vicki Fitch. Because you know what, when I first started Periscope, I was pretty much all over the map. But I hired her to coach me, and she helped me with my image, for sure. I mean, don't I look way better than I did back then? You know, and she helped teach many of us, you know, how to promote ourselves and how to have confidence, you know, with what we do. And I just have to say, you know, if you need help with your image, Vicky is definitely a woman who can help you with it, for sure. And I should also let you know, in case you didn't know, Professor Nez is interviewing Vicky tonight at 7 p.m. Central Time over on, I think, YouTube, but I'm not positive. But I'm going to retweet it out so you guys can see it if you're interested in watching Professor Nez and Vicky talk tonight in about an hour, right after the show. So your Friday night's already booked up, people, just so you know. All right. And I don't know if you guys heard about this. This really, there's a couple stories in the news that really tick me off. You want to hear one that really ticks me off? This one over on U.S. News. Did you see this one, Bareface?
I can't read your mind.
Yeah.
So
okay, this one is on usnews.com. It's titled "Mom Who Beat Girl for Incorrect Bible Verse Gets Prison." Yeah. A Pennsylvania woman who beat and tried to strangle her daughter for incorrectly reciting Bible verses has been sentenced to prison. Thank God. Thank God. Listen to this. This happened in Middletown, Pennsylvania. A Pennsylvania woman who beat and tried to strangle her daughter for incorrectly reciting Bible verses has been sentenced to prison. 41-year-old Rhonda Schaffner was sentenced Wednesday to 2.5 to 5 years in prison after pleading guilty to charges including aggravated assault of her daughter, who was younger than 13. Police say the girl was forced to kneel on the bathroom floor at Chauffeur's Middletown home and repeat Bible verses. They say Schaffner, or however you say her name, slammed her head into the wall each time she made a mistake. They say Schaffner also told the child she was going to kill her and attempt to strangle her. Police say the girl fought off Schaffner and told her to leave and never return. The girl called her father and drove her to the police who drove her to the police station. This pisses me off to no end for so many reasons. First of all, it's child abuse. Big time. I know, what completely insane person and complete insanity makes their kid recite Bible verses in the bathroom and all this other stuff. I'm just saying. It's when I was young, my mom used to make us kneel on heater vents, My mom was not a nice person either, just so you know. But this takes the cake. I mean, when you put the Bible in there and you actually physically abuse somebody, and it's just a child, I don't care, they're under 13, they're a kid, Yeah. Yeah, anyway. You lived in Philly? Yeah. So there's that story. The other story, let's see here. 7 guidelines for guys and girls as Taylor Swift releases near nude video. This is the other thing. Larry Tomczak, who was on our show not too long ago. You guys know who Taylor Swift is, right? Taylor Swift, Miss Perfect, like Christian girl and blah, blah, etc., blah, 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 blah. Taylor Swift. Listen to this. Larry writes this. He writes, as a father and grandfather, it grieves me to convey some breaking news regarding music superstar Taylor Swift. Remember, first it was Miley Cyrus, and now it's Taylor Swift. This multi-gifted artist has now decided to advance her career further by disrobing to a nearly nude image in her just-released music video, Ready for It. This sweet young starlet, who's been a role model and inspiration to millions of youth, portrays a sci-fi cyborg prancing around in a state of seeming undress. I viewed the, quote, shock, unquote, quote, presentation one time in order to raise awareness and caution moms, dads, and youth leaders. Scripture says, I will walk within my house with a perfect heart. I will set no wicked thing before my eyes. Psalm 101:2. Therefore, I quickly confessed a moment of uncleanness and viewing this push the envelope presentation before passing along the insights that follow. Many of us, upon reading this, ask the legitimate question, why is Taylor doing this? Her persona has always been distinct from that of Miley Cyrus, Katy Perry, Nicki Minaj, I don't know, or Beyonce. We always felt comfortable recommending her music, posters, and YouTube videos. Why? Your guess is as good as mine, but in today's competitive music world, compromises and concessions are made for fame and fortune, and it's a sad reality. What's unsettling regarding Taylor is doing this in light of her past statements affirming modesty and responsibility to young girls who admire, imitate, and look up to her in such an adoring way. Remember when she was interviewed by Billboard magazine and she said the following quote, "The reality is what you wear matters. If you're a singer and on TV and in the living room of some 12-year-old girl and she's watching what you're wearing and saying and doing, there is a big responsibility and I take it seriously," unquote. Or how about her interview in the Telegraph when she is in no uncertain terms disavowed immodest sensual pictorials? "It's just a life decision. I don't feel comfortable taking my clothes off. I wouldn't wear tiny amounts of clothing in real life, so I don't think it's necessary to wear that stuff in photo shoots. I live in Music City, USA, so I interact with lots of musicians and artists." This is Larry writing again. He says, "The worship leader in our church is one of the finalists on The Voice recently. Here's what I shared with those committed to glorifying God through their life and appearance. 7 guidelines to honor God through our appearance. How we dress is addressed by God so we can look attractive without inviting lustful looks which can cause others to stumble. Many Christians are not deliberately dressing immodestly, but rather drift into alluring clothes out of ignorance or a desire for acceptance. Modest attire starts in the heart, not the hemline, with a sincere desire to glorify God, not a legalistic dress code to inhibit man." Number 1, Romans 12:2 directs us, 12:1 and 2, directs us, "Do not be conformed to this world, but present your bodies as a living sacrifice, holy and acceptable to God, which is your reasonable service of worship." We should look sharp, not seductive. We can dress cool without appearing cheap, like I do right now, just so you know. Although I am wearing a little bit more skin than normal. Bygones. Okay, number 2, we should never wear clothing that draws lustful looks, causing others to stumble into sin, Matthew 18:6, or commit adultery in their heart by fantasizing after viewing us dressed provocatively, Matthew 5:28. Number 3, modesty is a positive principle emphasizing inner beauty and character over outward vanity and sensuality. I want women to dress with proper clothing, modestly and discreetly, 1 Timothy 2:9. This applies equally to men who fall prey to sexy Speedos, low-rise pants, and extra tight shirts, like Randall wears often around here. But, no. That was supposed to be funny, people. Okay, anyway. Number 4, we are called to liberty. Only do not use liberty to give an opportunity to the flesh, but by love serve one another. Galatians 5:13. In other words, we have the privilege to defer to rather than defraud the opposite sex through immodesty. Defraud is arousing sexual desires in another person that cannot be righteously satisfied. 1 Thessalonians 4:6. Number 5, the Bible tells us to steer clear of all sensuality. 1 Peter 2:11. Which is basically planned appeal to the physical senses for personal gratification. Number 6, when there is a question concerning an article of clothing, length of skirt, level of neckline, size of shorts, sheerness of a fabric, or tightness of leggings, etc., follow the following. Doubt, do without, Romans 14:13. Flee youthful lust, 2 Timothy 2:22. Honor your father and mother, Ephesians 6:2 and 3. Although my mom, she would have encouraged it, just so you know. But anyway. Number 7, determined to be countercultural, radical, charitable, and courageous in holding biblical convictions, living life to the hilt for the glory of God. My son, if sinners entice you, do not consent, my son. Do not walk in the way with them. Keep your foot from their path. Proverbs 1:10 and 15. And then lastly, Larry Tomczak writes, while we pray for Taylor Swift and other prominent pop culture personalities, may these guidelines help us in this time considered the undressing of America. We must not allow ourselves to become desensitized to God's liberating and beautiful message of modesty today. So we need to be praying for her because it sounds like she's gone down the dark side, which is sad because she was one of the only Christian country type role models out there.
Or another in a long line, you know, first there was...
They come as Christians, they leave as Satanists. I mean, that seems to be the...
Katie Hudson, a.k.a. Katy Perry, Hannah Montana, you know,
Right.
or Miley Cyrus, and, you know, started off girl next door, became scantily clad, you know, overly sexed, you know, full of innuendo, and then
Somebody's saying Carrie Underwood, too.
Carrie Underwood, yeah, and you know, we see it again with Taylor Swift. And while you were talking, I was listening to you, but I was watching the Ready For It video.
I didn't even watch it.
And it's not just scantily clad. There are themes of, I mean, she's wearing a black hood, and there's transhumanism in there. It's dark, looks demonic.
Almost like Katy Perry, right?
Yeah, I mean, Katy Perry, I mean, think about it. Here's unbelievers sitting in the audience of, was it American Music Awards? And you see Twitter afterwards, like, you know, what the blank did we just watch? Was that some sort of Satanist ritual?
Wasn't it the Super Bowl? I thought it was the Super Bowl.
No, it was at the Music Awards performance where she rode the bull with the flashing red eyes and all that stuff, and yeah, unbelievers going, what did we just see?
You know, saw a satanic worship dance,
and that's what they said. Is that we just. And I'm reminded, of course, of what Paul wrote to Timothy, you know, about many desiring to be rich, you know, fall into a snare. And it's not just, I mean, I think if these artists, it was just the fame, the notoriety, that'd be one thing. But with it comes the you know, the wealth that's promised. I don't think everyone's holding out to them just the fame factor, but the wealth factor. And I was gonna bring it up. Hold on.
So DAC, I don't know how to say your name. Where are you coming in from? It looks like you're a newbie, or at least it looks like you're kind of a newbie. But I don't know if you are a newbie or not. If you are, thank you for coming in. In fact, why don't all of you put where you're coming in from? And there's Eric. Hey, Eric. Nice to see you, buddy. Ivy. Is that your first name? Ivy? Jerry, did I say hi to you? Okay, Wisconsin. Cool. We're in Tennessee, just so you know. Pittsburgh. Yeah. Ohio. Dakari, Ivy. Okay. Hey. Texas. Yay, you know what? I have an opportunity to go to Texas. Canada. You're in Canada? Cool. I probably knew that. You're in Ohio, too. We need to go on tour in Ohio. Arkansas. Really? We were just in there. We were just in Arkansas. Well, we drove by it. It was boring. But it was nice. It was just boring. It was flat. Do you know that Twyla Paris lives in Arkansas? We've had her on our show. And thanks for the hearts, you guys. It seemed like they're all red tonight. That's interesting. Usually they're multicolored. Are we getting close to 11 million? I think that was isn't that like, yeah, we're almost at 11 million, Bareface.
Oh.
We only got like 20 million to catch up to Rick Costa. Your hubby was stationed outside of Memphis, and yeah, okay. I'm not even really sure where Memphis is. I know it's in Tennessee. I just don't know where.
You remember the big pyramid and driving over the river from Arkansas into...
Oh, yeah, over where Elvis used to live or something?
Yeah, Graceland is over there, but that's the river there that separates, that is the border between Arkansas and Tennessee. Mississippi is the city right there on the...
Happy Harry now is
on
here.
the eastern shore of the river.
That's an interesting name. Okay.
All right, I was just going to read one verse, but I like to do it in context.
Good. You do it, Mr. Bible teacher.
So
put a 1 if you know Bible's Mr. Bible man. Yeah, he's Bible Mr. Face there.
All right, let me pick a better transition, something smooth like this. Anyway, the Apostle Paul writing to Timothy, younger Timothy, he says, "Let as many servants as under the yoke count their own masters worthy of all honor, that the name of God and his doctrine not be blasphemed." So, this is in a society that, the Roman Empire that had slaves, and he's saying, don't cop an attitude, if you're under master. And it says, "And they that have believing masters, let them not despise them, because they are brothers, but rather do them service, because they are faithful and beloved partakers the benefit. These things teach and exhort." That's not important to the point, but is to the sentence, because Paul then says, "If any man teach otherwise, and consent not to wholesome words, even the words of our Lord Jesus Christ, and to the doctrine which is according to godliness, he is proud, knowing nothing, but doting about questions and strifes of words, whereof comes envy, strife, railings, evil surmisings, perverse disputings of men of corrupt minds, and destitute of the truth, supposing that gain is godliness. From such withdraw yourselves. But godliness with contentment is great gain, for we brought nothing into this world, and it is certain we can carry nothing out. And having food and raiment, let us be therewith content. But they that will be rich fall into temptation and a snare, and into many foolish and hurtful lusts, which drown men in destruction and perdition. For the love of money is the root of all evil."
All sorts of evil.
Yeah.
Depending on your version.
Yeah, depending on the translation. "Which while some coveted after, they have erred from the faith, and pierced themselves through with many sorrows. But you, O man of God, flee these things, and follow after righteousness, godliness, faith, love, patience, meekness. Fight the good fight of faith. Lay hold on eternal life, whereunto you are also called, and have professed a good profession before many witnesses. I give you charge in the sight of God, who vivifies or verifies all things, or gives life to all things, and before Christ Jesus, who before Pontius Pilate witnessed a good confession, that you keep this commandment without spot, unrebukable, until the appearing of our Lord Jesus Christ, which in times he shall show who is the blessed and only potentate, the King of kings and the Lord of lords, who only has immortality, dwelling in the light which no man can approach to, whom no man has seen, nor can see, to whom be honor and power everlasting. Amen." And the point being in all that, I guess I'll go solo here, the point being in all that is that people get caught up in temporal things. Oh, to be rich. Well, we brought nothing to this world. It's certain we'll carry nothing out. The old saying goes, no U-Haul behind a hearse. We came in with nothing. We came naked, and we're going out with nothing. And so while it's okay to be good stewards of things, to have things with which to bless people, to pursue after them, to make riches your aim and your fulfillment, it's not that you'll be disappointed, but you'll pierce yourself through with many sorrows. And it's it says, which will drown men in destruction and perdition. And I think that's what we've seen happening with these young women who, start out with a dream, and a good dream, and talent, but they are enticed, they are seduced by their handlers that say, "Oh, wow, if you want to make it really big, then you'll do this, you'll do that. Oh, let's, it's no big deal." And just this gradual slipping away into, first it's this, well, wear a little tighter clothes, do a little of this. Anyway, I'm waiting to, my lovely wife, waiting till you look like you're ready to say something and keep myself on. And so I didn't want to get you on camera kicking back like, no. Yeah, hurry up, get over it.
Our show's almost over, and my head is very congested, and I need to. It's very hot in this room, just so you know where we're at. So
okay,
I'm tired.
It's all right.
Just so you know. I mean, you can keep going on if you want. You
No.
can go on forever if you'd like.
No, I don't want to go on forever, but you get the point, and that's my summation of it. Is that summation of it, surmising of it. Anyway, making up words here.
All right.
That they're enticed to forsake faith and modesty for, that. The prize of fame and fortune, and other things get jettisoned. Important things get jettisoned in the pursuit of that.
Yes. So, anyway, I want to read one other headline, and then we'll shut the show off.
Okay.
Okay. This is over on CBN News. I'll tweet it out. It's titled, Holocaust Victim Survived 9 Death Camps and Lived to Celebrate His 100th birthday in Israel. Check this out. It says here, it's not every day someone turns 100 years old, especially a Holocaust survivor. But this week, Elias Feinzelberg celebrated his 100th birthday, and his journey is inspiring. Feinzelberg survived 9 concentration camps, including Auschwitz-Birkenau. He even survived a 2-week death march by eating snow. I was saved. God helped me. God helps me, Feinzelberg said, and I always ask him for this, hoping to help his family when they were starving in the ghetto. Elias left to work for the Nazis. They promised him his family would be safe, but that's not what happened. All of his family, including 6 siblings, died in the Holocaust. The Nazis killed all my family, and I was left alone. Feinzelberg worked in the labor camps and prayed to stay alive, surviving daily on a bowl of soup and a piece of bread. On May 1st, 1945, the U.S. Army liberated Elias from the concentration camps. Soon he volunteered in the kitchen of an American refugee camp, helping to feed 12,000 survivors. There he met his wife, and they moved to Guatemala, where he lived for 22 years. In 1969, Elias and his wife immigrated to Israel. Today, Elias has 2 sons, a daughter, 7 grandchildren, and 18 great-grandchildren. I'm very happy that I did one thing in my life. I brought my family to Israel. I loved Israel very much. Here, every stone is mine, he said. Feinzelberg has inspired many people with his life and story. Some say his smile and joy for life are contagious. I just love that, and you guys, I will tweet this out on my Bible News Radio Twitter account, and there's a video. You can watch it, and all that. And those of you who are wondering if I'm Jewish or not, I just want to let you know that that model actually thinks I might be. But I did submit my DNA sample, my spit, basically. And I want you to know that I got an email today from the people that received it. Isn't that special? Anyway, they sent me an email telling me that it has arrived and now is being processed. So as soon as I get my results, you'll all know, because it's kind of fun, isn't it, to wonder? But yeah. Anyway, it is interesting. And in light of loving Israel and the fact that there are still a lot of people out there, for whatever reason, deny the Holocaust. Just so you know, this guy's 100 years old. He's lived a long time, and he's lived to tell the story. So they said you got nice spit, LOL. Yeah. Well, yeah. Well, I have to tell you, it was kind of funny doing the thing, because they send you this plastic thing with a wide mouth on it. And then they have this thing. It's like you're supposed to fill up like an inch, almost 2 inches of spit, right? Well, in the morning, I decided to do it because you have to do it like after 30 minutes of eating or whatever. So I just thought, I'll do it first thing in the morning. Well, probably not the best time because, you're trying to clear your sinuses and everything. Anyway, by the time I was done spitting in this thing and the spit settled, just saying, the vial was that much of my spit. I think I literally had probably over an inch more than what they wanted. But anyway, I'm probably sure. I'm pretty sure I'm not the only one. So just thought I'd share that with you because I could. And Becky came in. Hey, Becky. Nice to see you. All right. So next week, let's see. We have a sneak preview of anybody I've booked. I know I have some people coming up, I think. Let's see here. What's today? Today is the... Actually, yes. Actually, on Monday, we have a guest. His name is Dr. J. Scott Turner. And his book is called Purpose and Desire. And it's actually, you guys are going to love this, it's actually a scientific look at debunking Darwinism. Yeah. Does Bible News Radio cover the coolest topics ever, or what? So yes. And then the week after, I have on Jack Yost, who is the husband of Dr. Charmaine Yost, who is in the cabinet of the White House today. She is part of Donald Trump's cabinet and a friend, but Jack Yost will be our show. He is a veteran, military. The Yost family actually has his mother-in-law, Janice Krause, Dr. Janice Krause, has been on our show numerous times. I think it's Lieutenant Colonel Robert McGinnis, who I met at the Prophecy Conference. The guy, the Pentagon Insider, is a friend of theirs from the Family Research Council. These are big-time Washington insiders. Jack contacted me because he wrote a brand new book on leadership and using a military document of he himself is a vet. Anyway, it's going to be a good show. You'll love this guy. He is an amazing person. In fact, that whole family is an amazing person. So this is literally a direct tie to the White House we're having on November 8th. So anyway, there you have it. We have some other good guests coming up too, but Monday we're going to look at Darwinism from a scientific point of view, and then also we're going to have Sean Foy on our show as well, a New York Times best-selling author, with the Daniel Plan and some other good stuff. So it's going to be good. We're getting some good people. All our peoples are good, but if you guys know somebody who would be a good guest, or you yourself think you might be a honorable guest, feel free to get in touch with me. You can contact me at Bible News Radio and on Twitter, or email us at BibleNewsRadio.com, and we'll get you in. Speaking of DC, okay. Oh, they're okay. Clinton Cash tonight. Yeah, I haven't seen that actually, but that sounds interesting. I try to ignore the Clintons, just so you know. They're depressing people. All right. So, hey, Denise, thank you for coming in. And everybody else, thank you guys for coming in. Be bold, stand up, and go with God. You know why? Because he loves you. He really does. And we'll see you soon. And thanks for praying for Tuggy Bear. He seems to be doing a little bit better.